And the winner for Best Picture, Adrian Brody, is not you, it's Anora!
The award goes to Anora.
La Palme d'Or est attribuée à Anora de Sean Baker.
Anora.
Anora.
Anora. Sean Baker!
Mikey Madison.
Anora.
Anora. A lot has been said about this film, high praise, harsh criticism, and everything in between. Opinions range from absolute cinema to what the hell is even that? The naysayers call its many Oscars wins undeserved, its pacing flawed and messy, and its story overhyped beyond reason. And it's these more negative voices that compelled me to make this video. Because Anora is not just a good film, it's a great film by an amazing director finally getting the recognition it deserves. So, Anora. Let's talk about it. Let's start with the director. Sean Baker is one of the most exciting and consistent filmmakers working today. Throughout his career, he has turned his lens towards society's margins, capturing the lives of those in often overlooked jobs with deep compassion. Never veering into poverty porn, never using these words and people for his own amusement, but instead striving to destigmatize certain life choices and shed light on words rarely depicted in mainstream cinema, and certainly not depicted like this. Anora is a bold, powerful exploration of a place, a profession, and an entire underworld of people and cultures. This film is important not just because of its subject matter, but also because of the nature of its story and the production behind it. Because even with its large-scale distribution by Neon, it remains an independent film with a $6 million budget made by real artists at the top of their game. It's probably one of Sean Baker's most accessible movies too, a great entry point in his filmography. If you liked Anora and you haven't seen any other film from Baker yet, I suggest watching The Florida Project next. Who knows, maybe we'll make a video about it. So, Anora is good. Not just that, it's also incredibly funny. Toros, in particular, played by the great Karren Karagulian, stands out as the nervous guardian, the sweaty, uneasy voice of reason, struggling to appease his boss's demands. Karagulian has been a long-time collaborator of Baker, both as an actor and a producer behind the scenes. He has played a crucial role in the success of Anora. In fact, Baker and Karagulian began crafting the story that would become Anora way back in 2009. It was originally conceived as a buddy comedy set in Brighton Beach. Everything changed from that first draft, except the location. They knew they wanted to tell the story of this community, put its unique melting pot of people on display. Karagulian has been instrumental in bringing the depiction of this community to life, contributing to the realism of the film with character names, locations, and the Armenian and Russian dialogue woven throughout. But it's not just him. The entire cast delivers outstanding performances. Baker excels at directing actors, helping them capture their characters' idiosyncrasies, their trauma, and the nuances of their daily lives. This movie carries a unique energy, creating an incredibly kinetic experience, constantly shifting from place to place, character to character. It also embraces slapstick, with every punch and slap landing like a truck, never failing to draw a laugh. And that's one of the film's greatest achievements, to be able to put so much heart and laughter in what it is, at its core, a grim tragedy. A tragedy that unfolds through different genres, from romantic comedy in the beginning to a full-blown screwball comedy in the middle to a powerful coming-of-age drama at the end. And at the center of it all, a one-of-a-kind performance. Mikey Madison's portrayal of Anora is incredibly layered, especially considering how the film seamlessly shifts between genres. Despite these tonal shifts, she never, not once, feels out of place. The film doesn't glorify sex work like someone has said, it simply humanizes it, and it all comes together in the final act. Sean Baker consistently crafts powerful finales, always ending on a striking note. His conclusions often recontextualize what we've seen before, and Anora is no exception. But to discuss the ending, we first need to talk about Igor.
Я понимаю, что сейчас, наверное, не в тему будет, но мне кажется, было бы правильно, чтобы Иван извинился.
There aren't many truly unexpected characters in Anora. Most fit familiar archetypes, and once you understand the story's premise, it's easy to anticipate the kind of characters that will inhabit it. Loudmouth strippers, Vanya's friends, his rich parents, and even the Armenians who crash into Anora's fairy tale halfway through the film and change the course of the story. They all make sense in this world. Even Anora herself embodies the classic temptress trope, the young seductress trying to climb her way to the top by winning over a wealthy man. She of course breaks out of the archetype through the film, and part of her arc is to reject that role. But there is one unexpected figure, one that even Annie doesn't see coming. Igor is far more complex than he first appears. Initially, he seems just like another enforcer, a hired muscle for Tauros to command. His introduction is awkward, almost silly, and his first interaction with Anora goes, we could say, a bit poorly.
Fuck out of my way!
No, just sit.
What the fuck is wrong with
Relax.
you? Motherfucker!
It's okay. Just put it.
Ты чё, блядь?
Can you fucking tell this guy to untie me?
No,
To
she's
fucking
an
untie me?
animal.
Ivan,
Give me that fucking ring.
Stop screaming! Stop screaming!
After that, Annie doesn't trust Igor. She doesn't like him and seizes every opportunity to insult and demean him. But Igor quickly reveals a softer side, a quiet understanding that no one else seems to offer her. He stands in stark contrast to Vanya, serving as his foil, while Vanya is a spoiled brat who treats those around him like figurines in his own personal stage play. Igor is a normal guy, doing his job in order to survive. Beneath his unassuming exterior, he is deeply perceptive and unexpectedly tender. He sees something in Anora that no one else does, not even us, the audience. Anora pushes Igor away whenever he makes kind gestures. When he offers her the scarf to stay warm, she becomes defensive. She's not used to any attention from a man that isn't tied to her body. Many sex workers probably become this way, desensitized to men and their lust. But Igor is different. He understands something about Anora that she keeps hidden even from herself, that all she really wants is to be loved. Deep down, she longs for something real and authentic, not just transactional. Annie is a deeply romantic soul who had to strip all romanticism from her life in order to survive. She even reveals Disneyland to be her dream location for a wedding. A strange dream, a childish dream that we wouldn't necessarily attribute to her. That's why she wants to hold on to the wedding ring Vanya gave her. Not just because of its value, not just because she loves Vanya and wants to be married to him. She can't let go of the ring because it represents that impossible love she aspires to. It does not matter that Vanya is not the Prince Charming she would really want. She wants to believe he can be. I have read comments from people complaining that the ending of the film drags, as if the movie should have ended after Vanya lives with his parents. But it's in these final minutes that the film truly realizes its premise, where the story is distilled into theme, and the theme is empathy, understanding, kindness. Let's talk about that conversation. Annie and Igor, two out-of-place figures in a luxurious living room that feels entirely out of place for both of them. A space that doesn't belong to either of them. A space where they don't belong. In front of that TV, the two share a mundane conversation. We learn that the day we just witnessed, the one where Igor was beaten, ordered around like a puppet and humiliated, was his 30th birthday. Annie is still harsh, unnecessarily mean. And then, Igor says this.
I like Anora. I mean, I like Anora more than any.
She doesn't know how to process that. The part of herself she's kept hidden, the past she's tried to outrun, the heritage she's buried, Igor values more than the persona she's carefully constructed for the world? That makes no sense to her. The next day, he drives her back to her house. They sit in the car for a while, in silence. She's waiting for something to happen, though she doesn't really know what. It's in this quiet moment that Igor returns the ring to her. Not just because it's something that she can keep, to extract meaning and value from this terrible experience, but because he understands what it represents for her. Anora instinctively falls back on her sex work habits, attempting to repay Igor with the only currency she knows, her body, but instead of simply accepting that transaction, Igor kisses her. Because what he feels goes beyond attraction, it's tenderness, something resembling love. He sees past the surface, deep into Annie's soul. Anora isn't afraid of emotional connection. She's afraid of vulnerability. She is convinced that exposing herself will only lead to exploitation or harm. That's what makes the ending so powerful. It's not just that Igor liked her, wanted her, or even loved her. It's that he understood her. He met her with empathy. And that, in the end, is what broke her. This ending, as well as the tragic, funny, hilarious, incredible journey that got us here, is the reason Anora won all these awards, and the reason it deserves every single one of them.